goal-scoring prowess of Erling Haaland has set him on pace to become one of the greatest goal scorers in football history. But was it always the case for the Norwegian giant? How does he compare to other goal-scoring greats, and will he become the greatest goal scorer of all time? We'll take a look at Erling's early career in Norway and how he struggled to get off the mark, some of the big moves that chart his development as a player, and run through the stats that show his dominance while we compare him to other top goal scorers in history. The UK-born striker started off his football career in Norway, but had to battle through some early career struggles. Despite being the son of former Norwegian great Erling Haaland, Erling showed some confidence issues getting off the mark for his first club, Bryn. He got his first start 2 months before his 16th birthday in the second tier of Norwegian professional football. However, it may be hard to believe, but he failed to score for the rest of his first season, playing a total of 420 minutes. During 2016, Haaland also played a total of 17 matches for Norway's under-16s, where he also had a rough time in front of goal, scoring on only one occasion. Despite the underwhelming goal return, the then Molde manager and Manchester United legend Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saw Erling's potential and gave him a chance in the first tier of Norwegian football a year after his Bryn debut. It wasn't until he turned 17 that he returned Solskjaer's faith in him, yet Erling only managed one more goal in his first season at Molde in 385 minutes. The reason for the slow start could have been down to maturity and tactical naivety, as it was well known that he was already physically capable of playing against fully grown men at that age. Remarkably, it took Haaland an entire year from his debut at Molde for him to explode onto the scene. Just before his 18th birthday, Erling smashed 4 goals past then league leaders Brann, which must have grabbed the attention of major European clubs. At the end of 2018, the powerful striker signed for the Red Bull organisation, where he started his career for the Salzburg-based club in the Austrian Bundesliga. Not long after, Haaland went viral on social media with an incredible 9-goal haul against Honduras while playing for the Norwegian under-20s. It seemed like the move to a team playing in the highest competition in European football, the Champions League, really gave him the confidence to destroy opposition in youth football. Amazingly, the Norwegian made the step up to the Champions League with a hat-trick in his first ever game against Genk.
Tonight you became the youngest player in UEFA Champions League history to score a first-half hat-trick. How are you feeling right now?
I feel very good.
Even more impressively, he'd scored 2 more hat-tricks in the league before that, but goals against giants Liverpool and Napoli meant his stay in Austria would not last long. This was a long way from his early scoring woes at Bryn and Molde, and it was clear he was destined for bigger things. Haaland became part of the exciting, young and dynamic Borussia Dortmund team, where he did not need much time to adapt. Signing in January 2020, Erling bagged a hat-trick in his first league game against Augsburg and scored 7 in his opening 3 games in Germany.
Give me the champagne! Addicted to champagne!
His overall tally for the club was 86 goals in just 89 games, which was only really overshadowed at the time by German champions Bayern Munich and their Polish striker Robert Lewandowski.
After the final whistle, you and the whole teammates, you were going to the south stand, the famous yellow wall, which was empty today, of course. Why did you do that?
Why not?
Dortmund failed to win the league during Erling's 2.5 seasons at the club, as Bayern Munich continued their dominance. But destroying opposition defences in the Champions League became Erling Haaland's trademark, scoring 15 goals in 13 games during his time in Germany.
So what's your secret? You scored 10 times now in the Champions League.
Hard work.
What else? Smoothie.
Yeah, also enjoy. Whoa, we're close now.
This sort of production in the hardest club competition was highly valued by Manchester City, who had come close for several years but had never won the top European trophy. After brushing off some frustrating injuries in the 2021-22 season, a move to the English Premier League came true for Erling just before his 22nd birthday.
What do you think of our style of play, and do you think we're a good fit for you?
Yeah, of course. If not, I wouldn't come here.
Again, the left-footed number 9 needed no time to adapt to his new surroundings in the country where he grew up, scoring an incredible 52 goals in 53 games in all competitions during the 2022-23 campaign. Furthermore, showing no fear in the biggest competition with 12 goals in 11 games in the Champions League and finally winning it for an unstoppable Manchester City team. The final win against Inter Milan capped off a treble-winning season in England, becoming only the second team to do that in England after Manchester United. Haaland was clearly the missing piece that Manchester City needed to finish off so many possessions that were the trademark of Pep Guardiola's teams. His record by the age of 23 years old is only comparable to a handful of football greats and now an obvious talking point after achieving everything at club level. So will Erling Haaland end up as the greatest goalscorer of all time after his career is over? Direct comparisons are never easy, given a player's playing style or position, but some of the obvious names in modern football are Leo Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar and Kylian Mbappe in terms of goal returns over their careers. Interestingly, by the age of 23 years old, Neymar actually sits on top of the list for goals for club and country with 252. Mbappe's in second place with 225 by the age of 23. Haaland hit 211 goals for his clubs and Norway, while Leo Messi is in fourth place with 186 and Cristiano Ronaldo had 127 goals. One area that could have hurt the Norwegian up to the age of 23 is the lack of international football. Norway missed out on major competitions like the European Championships and the World Cup during his early years. But if we look at positions played up until that point, Erling was the only player of those 5 to be considered a classic central striker during their development. This is something to think about when asking who is the best striker of all time, but in terms of the best goal scorer ever, position doesn't really seem to matter in modern football. Another way to compare these goal scorers is to look at the statistics in a bit more detail. In terms of goals per game and goals per 90 minutes in a neutral competition like the Champions League, we can aim to get a better idea of their production in front of goal.
So your most important goals tonight? These 2 goals? In your career?
Yeah, you could say so.
Haaland's rate of goals in the Champions League sees him eclipse other goal scorers with a goal every 70 minutes, which has never been seen before. Other players come close to Erling's production if you include goal involvements with assists, but in terms of pure scorers, his record is tough to beat over that many games. A more general look at comparing Haaland's goals to Kylian Mbappe is per 90 minutes rates since the 2019-2020 season for their respective clubs. This shows the Norwegian slightly tipping the French striker with 1.06 to 0.97 goals per 90 minutes in just league play. Erling has done that in slightly less shots per 90 minutes as well, with Kylian taking about 1 more shot per 90 minutes than his goal-scoring adversary. Looking at more advanced stats like expected goals per 90 minutes, that's a stat that judges the percentage chance of a shot being a goal from where and how it was performed. Haaland takes that too, with 0.94 expected goals per 90 minutes to Mbappe's 0.87 over the same time period. This shows that he just eclipses the French talent in many key goal-scoring stats and could potentially have even more goals due to where and how he's taking his shots from on the pitch. Taking this all into consideration, Erling Haaland may not have the record for goals scored by 23 years old, but that could be due to his slow start at club level and lack of international games by that age. If we look at advanced stats, we can see that the Norwegian is on track to maintain high levels with his goal tallies in the hardest club competition in the Champions League. Also, his advanced statistics prove his rate of scoring and shot quality are the best for his era. So will Erling Haaland become the greatest goalscorer of all time? It seems that only injury could stop him reaching the coveted 1,000 goal mark, making him one of the few players to do it in football history. If he remains active and playing at the highest level, it's possible to see him going on to take the crown for himself. The Norwegian striker will surely become the leader in goals scored over an entire career in professional football.